Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing Arcam's brand new SA30 integrated amplifier. This fully featured workhorse of an amplifier sounds delightful. It's 120 watts a channel. It's over a couple of hundred into 4 ohms. It's got features like Google Cast Play. It's an AirPlay2 device. It's a Roon endpoint. It's certified for MQA. Amazing digital to analog converters on board. Lots of analog inputs. You will see. It's a brilliantly well featured amplifier at a remarkably good price for for the quality and features. It's awesome. So let's have a look. Okay. The boxes of Arcam have remained muted and brown for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. That's over 15 years. They have model and serial number information and voltage and version information of software on one end. They have just a description, bit of packing information. Okay, so the boxes are very boring. They're all sealed closed with traditional packing tape. And so getting into these boxes is really, really easy. A simple nick, a little tear, and we're in. Okay, having a wee look. Obviously the first thing we're going to look at is the accessories. Now this is a heavy little inner box, and it's quite surprising to see it so heavy. And of course it's because they've packed it full of useful accessories. Firstly, we've got a big long USB cable. It's for one of the inputs into this unit. Actually, sorry, this is for the DIRAC setup. The Arcam has DIRAC room correction, and it can be selected for inputs, specific inputs and other things like that, or an encompassing one. So the big long USB is probably going to be useful for the setup of that. It comes with a couple of power cords. Now, I'll be honest, both of these are useless to me. We've got one for Singapore, and we've got one for the UK. We've got Arcam's remote control. Their remotes are excellent. Their layout and their thought as far as the size and shape of the remote. It's got a nice little divot. Naturally, you put it in your hand, whether it be left or right-handed, and operate most of the functions with your thumb. It means that the remote sits easily. It's very straightforward to operate. As you dive into some of the feature set, you're more likely to use buttons like menu and other things along those lines, as well as volume. And it's nice to know that with that remote sitting comfortably in the hand, it's easy to operate. Drilling further into the accessories, there's a multi-language manual. The manual itself is extremely comprehensive. It's rare nowadays to see a manual that's so well thought out, and it's wonderful to see that Arcam has done so. We've got in the bag a couple of AAA batteries and 2 Wi-Fi aerials, because this, again, fully featured. It's got all of the modern stuff on board. There's also a microphone, and this is the purpose of utilising the DIRAC room correction. And you've got a big, look at the size of that. Look at this. Multi-language manual. Everything you would want to know about this product is mapped out. It's easy to use, lots of useful tidbits and useful setup information as well. And then you've got a basic kind of congratulations as far as purchasing the product. Now the amplifier itself is protected in closed cell foam, so it's very, very easy to get rid of that. And we see a New Zealand IEC power cord which has been introduced. Look, the amplifier box would have been opened by the distributor and one of these put in. The closed cell foam is an excellent way of ensuring that the amplifier is protected in transit. You can see a lot of packaging around it. I mean, really this thing is designed to arrive to you in one piece, and that's good to know. So just turning it over and lifting it out of its final piece, you sort of get a sense for its weight and build quality, and that's what Arcam is renowned for, certainly at this price point. And as we start to quietly look at this for the first time, we'll see that it's relatively compact. And this, I guess, is one of the features that Arcam brings to the table, is that they keep their form factor small, but the power and control much greater than its size. So looking at it for the first time, firstly at the front we've got its Arcam logo and then model number directly beneath. The volume controller is a rotary encoder, and it allows you, through some of the front buttons, to access the control and input selection and other things within the amplifier's control. You've got 3.5mm headphone output and an auxiliary input. You've got a menu button, and again that brings up the menu and other displays for you to be able to navigate through. Input selection up and down. You've got DIRAC on and off. You've got a mute button, info button relating to the source information, DAC that's being used, all of those types of things. You've got a direct mode which bypasses a lot of unnecessary features. You've got the display which dims or turns off the front display, and balance, the ability of course to bring up the left to right balance with ease. The power is a switch. Big silver knob, standby light is tricolour. Rocking it forward, you'll see again that it's quite a small amplifier, yet that doesn't, it's a nuggety, very heavy amplifier. Again, tipping it forward, you'll see great ventilation. The ventilation slots are at the bottom and the top. Looking at its side, again, you'll see it's not very deep and it's not designed to be. One of the things that I noted immediately is that it has wonderful rubber feet. These are semi-isolating, and of course you'll see a big bolt to hold its toroidal power supply. At the rear of the unit, I guess the magic starts to happen, where we get a clue to the feature set that this amplifier has. Not only is it extremely musical and wonderfully powerful from a small box, but it's implemented so many more features. It's got a 32-bit digital to analog converter. It's got a moving magnet and moving coil phono stage. It sounds absolutely superb for every single input you choose, and that's a wonderful, wonderful feature set. Nevertheless, as we drill into those features, we'll see not one but two Wi-Fi aerials. That, of course, is associated with the two aerials that are supplied. These are very easy to attach, as you would expect. If you are streaming wirelessly, and please, we do recommend that you would utilize a network cable if you can. If you are streaming wirelessly, ensure that the aerials are actually upright. You'd be amazed at how many times when it's sort of sitting horizontally, it affects in a negative way the streaming capabilities. Beneath the first aerial is its IEC power socket, obviously to marry up the power cord supplied. We've got a voltage selector that will change between 110 to 120 and to 220 to 240. Above that switch we've got a 5-volt USB. Now that's for the purposes of powering an external device. It's not a very high current, so it's wireless network or some sort of external product that may require 5 volts. It's got a network socket. Relatively unique to an amplifier at this price point is an HDMI input for the purposes of having an ARC or audio return from a television. It's wonderful to see, certainly at this price point. Beneath the HDMI is the RS232 for purposes of control, and oddly, just here is a USB for the purposes of audio. Don't quote me, but I believe you could use that for perhaps a smartphone or something like that as an input. Over here we have its first analog inputs, and these are labelled as CD, PVR and STB, although through its setup you can change those to indicate anything you may wish to use. Above it is a service port, which of course none of us will use, and above that is its second aerial. It's got the selectable moving magnet and moving coil phono inputs, and then a pre-out. Beside that pre-out, of course, is a ground cable for the phono stage. It features 2 digital inputs for coax and 2 digital inputs for optical, both of which will handle the 32-bit digital to analog converter if required. And then finally, we've got a single set of outputs. The amplifier doesn't have A and B speakers, and it's a feature set that Arcam has ignored for really good reasons. Nevertheless, there we go. The Arcam's brand new 120 watt Class G, it's a hybrid design, integrated amplifier, fully featured, sounds lovely there, SA30, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.